Okay, good morning. So this is Kalinzi Dennis, and I'm from Masaka campus, BSc IT Year 3, and the registration number is 2019 B072 32446. And this is my presentation for Emerging Trends, the exam. My topic of choice is going to be virtual reality. And when I'm talking about virtual reality, first of all, let us get a definition of what virtual reality is. Virtual reality refers to the computer-generated simulation of a three-dimensional image or environment that can be interacted with in a seemingly real or physical way by a person using those special electronic equipment. The equipment could be a virtual reality helmet with a screen inside, gloves fitted with sensors. You could have a treadmill, because some people use virtual reality when they walk around. So you could use you could connect a treadmill that calculates the motion where a person is going. It also moves like that. So the images are three-dimensional, which means that you can see all around them. There are several angles that you can, even if you turn around when you're in virtual reality, the computer-generated images that were created could cover that. There is sight. So first of all, let me talk about the relevant terms in this emerging trend. So let me talk about the haptics, and haptics refers to the tactile response, all what the users feel when they are using virtual reality. As I've talked about the gloves that are fitted with the sensors, the haptics could include, like, if someone touches, let me say, through over some electric shock in virtual reality, and they get like a sensation or a feeling of getting shocked, but using these sensors that are fitted in the gloves. So those are the haptics. The presence refers to presence refers to the amount of content inside the virtual reality world. Usually users want a virtual reality experience that is expansive. Like, you created so many things in the virtual reality world that they can explore and go and talk about some other day. Another term is HMD, and it refers to the head-mounted display that is used by people to experience virtual reality. Now, this could be virtual reality helmets, it could be virtual reality glasses, and so on. Now, virtual reality visits, virtual visits. This is the total number of people who watch the VR experience. This helps the marketers to know like what is appealing to the users in the market, and they continue with that. If something is not working out well, they could discontinue it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is these are some of the illustrations of the users of virtual reality, and they include the medical teaching field. You can see these ones are doing they are learning how to do a surgery on a heart, but using virtual reality. Now, this is exploration. People create simulations of places they've never been, and they tour them using virtual reality. People learn, this is a space simulation. People learn space, like being astronauts, but with virtual reality. And the last one is military training. Soldiers are taught, they are most especially the US military, they have a program of teaching soldiers using virtual reality. The other thing that I'm going to talk about is a brief description of virtual reality. Now, virtual reality applications immerse the user in a computer-generated environment that simulates the reality through the use of interactive devices. Now, that statement alone tells you that virtual reality application, when someone puts on the goggles, they are surrounded by computer-generated images and programs that are coexisting with this hardware to create that experience. And these devices send and receive information. They are worn as goggles, headsets, gloves, body suits, and so on. Now, the illusion of being there is called the telepresence, and it is affected by motion sensors that pick up the user's movements and adjust the view on the screen accordingly, usually in real time. Like once you turn, also the images turn, the CGI turn. So the other thing is, I want to talk about how virtual reality works. And the virtual reality headsets are essentially machines just designed to replace our surroundings with something that is created in software. I've been talking about computer generated images, CGI. And there are gyroscopic sensors, like very small sensors that sense movement and react accordingly. There are accelerators and magnetometers that are fitted in headsets to determine how you move and track your interactions with the virtual space. As I've said, once you, let's say you find a rock in the virtual reality, when you jump it or you trip on it, there are those sensors that are supposed to send like sensory, should I call it sensory electric nerves through your system. They shock you and you feel like you've really fallen, but you have not. It is virtual experience. So your headset also connects to external cameras and computer systems that have the software that is used by your virtual reality machines to give you that experience. And it is connected with several other machines that have those programs that run the devices that you're putting on. The other thing that I'm going to discuss here on slide 6 is the important facts about virtual reality. Now, virtual reality is one of those good emerging trends that are that are estimated to take over the future of this technology world. It is said to be worth around $184.66 US billion by 2026 in investment. And it is one of the fast growing technologies in the world. The other fact I'm going to talk about is that the human brain has a frame rate of about 100 frames per second. When I talk about frames, I'm talking about the video feed. Like when a person looks, the way they look is they take in frames of or should I call it pictures or videos to the brain, and those the way those things are taken in, the video feed is taken in, they are taken in but in frames per second. That's how we count them. Now, most developers have found that anything less than 60 frames per second causes the feeling of disorientation and nausea to a person. Like you feel like you want to vomit because these frames are so slow. The things they cause you to feel like you get, we call it kamunguruze in Uganda. So experts are trying to push more than 120 frames per second so that people don't get dizzy and stuff. The other virtual reality factor I'm going to talk about is that it was invented in 1957 by Morton Heilig. And his multimedia device that he invented was called the Sensorama and is considered one of the earliest forms of virtual reality. However, the term virtual reality was created much later in 1987 by a researcher called Jaron Lanier, who is considered the father of virtual reality. So the other thing that I'm going to talk about is the people, all the companies that are developing virtual reality technologies. Now, for long, experts have thought about the idea of like converging virtual reality and a digital second life in a digital society that they used to refer as the metaverse. Like you get a person, a living person in the real world creates a persona, or we call them avatars in video games. There is that person in a video game or a software that you use to represent you. Now, for long, people have contemplated the idea of having that person inside there, but you are living like you are living a second life. So that is one of the trends that are going to take over this virtual reality technology. And that metaverse has been blown up this year because of Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook CEO, who decided to name his company, the parent company of Facebook, Meta, basing on the metaverse word. And he has ventured into virtual reality to create that world. You get servers, you upload software, and you create a virtual world where people can create avatars and go inside the computer system and interact. And this month, Microsoft announced the purchase of the video game developer. It is called Activision Blizzard. They are the makers of this video game called Call of Duty, and it's a good video game that is so good, especially when you're using virtual reality. Once you create a persona, you go inside there and develop it. You fight with people and stuff, but you are all in different locations, but online using your avatars in virtual reality. And the other big companies like Google, Apple, Huawei, they're also developing their own virtual reality products. So also other government entities like militaries, the US military, the UK Coast Guard, and all other militaries in the Western world, they are developing their own virtual reality software to use as simulations for training their soldiers. The other thing I'm going to talk about is the progress of virtual reality technology, and it has been in existence for more than a century now. It has kept improving with the invention of every new technology in gyroscopic sensors, accelerators, and magnetometers, as I've talked about. Of recent, people are trying to develop the idea of having a digital life by using an avatar that they can use to interact with each other online. As I've talked about the metaverse, this is something that I'm trying to give more light on. And it is speculated that in the future, people will be able to fully live a digital life, like 24/7, you are online. Instead of just connecting to the internet and say, I'm online now, you just be able to live online using virtual reality. You come out in the real world, like you remove your devices and stuff and do whatever you want. Then you go back and spend your whole day traveling about the virtual reality world and interacting with people. That is the future of this virtual reality technology. Now on slide 9, I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages. First of all, the advantages: it is used in the medical field to train doctors. It is used to train astronauts and space explorers. Virtual reality is used in military to train the soldiers. It is used in the entertainment sector, like you go to these big cinema halls, like here in Uganda, you go to Cinemax, Century Cinema, and you get that 5D or 6D experience using this virtual reality. It's used in theaters, video games, and all those entertainment areas. So it gives people the ability to explore places they have never reached. Someone creates a simulation of, let's say, Queen Elizabeth National Park or Murchison Falls, and you go there and tour, but you have never been there. You're just using virtual reality. The disadvantages: so there's a big possibility of people getting obsessed with something that is fascinating, like virtual reality, and you get isolated from the real world. Instead of living the real life, you get used to living the virtual life, and it's more interesting to you than the real life. There is that obsession that can come over you. Virtual reality technology is expensive. It can't be readily available to anyone, especially for us here in the developing world. It is expensive. That's why it's owned mostly right now by Western countries. Countries in the Western world that are very rich. Maybe the Arabs also in the Middle East, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, those ones that are rich. Learning from virtual reality can be incomplete as compared to real life experiences. Like learning from virtual reality can be, it doesn't present the real dangers or the real lessons that someone should learn. So a learner might be incomplete. In conclusion, virtual reality is a good technology that we have to look out for. It is astonishing and beautiful. So I guess the world will look out for this technology because it is good. I've read about it and I am already in love with it. I like it. So that's all, sir. I think this will be my presentation for now. And I'm Kalinzi Dennis from Masaka campus.